Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. We're going to dive right in because we've got winter weather on the way in areas we don't normally expect to see winter weather, and that's got ongoing right now. I mean, this is a historic storm for areas in Houston, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. Blizzard warnings in effect for areas around Lake Charles. Just unbelievable to see that. Up in our area, we're watching for some flurries and maybe some snow showers this afternoon and this evening that could cause slick roads. We're not expecting a ton, but it could have a big impact on the roads. The low pressure, we can clearly see it. It's pretty far south, and this is why we're not seeing a bigger storm because the track is roughly like this. If it were to get pulled back to the northwest, that would be a better setup for snow for us. As it is, we've got enough forcing on the northwest side of the low that we're going to able to squeeze out some moisture. The biggest thing going against more snow is obviously the track of the low being so far down to the southeast, but also the air over is really dry. So a lot of the first moisture that moves in is going to get eaten up by that dry air. So it's going to evaporate or sublimate. So we're going to have a tough time. Just be cautious looking at the radar today. The GSP radar is down. A lot of this is going to be aloft. We're not getting a lot of surface reports of anything reaching the ground until you get down into the Georgia, South Carolina border area. There's a couple flurries, looks like around Athens, Georgia, maybe over towards Anderson. But for the most part, none of that's reaching the ground yet. So let's talk about the advisories because we got put under a winter weather advisory mainly because, we're going to be on that edge of snow. And that's kind of giving the idea, like right in here, we probably see a line of flurries, light snow showers, and then nothing back to the northwest. Heavier amounts basically take Interstate 20 and Interstate 95. And this is the area that will see the most precipitation, snow, primarily even to the coast. So pretty crazy to see that much precipitation. You see our counties added around Charlotte. That's because this could have a big impact. And I really want to emphasize this. Even a half an inch of snow, which is a pretty good chance of happening, it's going to stick immediately to the road. So the cold roads, cold air temperature definitely gives us pause that we could see significant trouble on the road surfaces. And you see the travel issues. The gray is what we call limited. So some slick roads possible. But once you get into the yellow, those are some more significant driving impacts, likely could shut down schools and businesses. And then in the orange, you're getting the medium, which is a significant impact for areas like Charleston up to Wilmington and out towards the Outer Banks. But that gives you a really good idea where the impacts are going to be. As far as timing, I'm going to move my head over here just to get out of the way. But you can see, I really think late this afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, we could see some snow begin to fall. It's not going to last long. It should be done by 10 o'clock or 11, and it's gone. But the roads, this is the big issue. The roads could be problematic because even a dusting to a half an inch on the road surface is going to be a big problem. So let me show you the totals. This is my final call map. I could make adjustments to this, but this is the forecast I'll be graded on. The back edge, somewhere in here, southern Iredell County, Lincoln, somewhere in there. And I fade it because the amounts, as you go south and east, the chances are higher. If there's going to be a burst of snow, it's going to be down in here. So this is the area, and somewhere in here is going to get a burst of snow, I think. It's just hard to pin down. So somewhere between Raleigh, Southern Pines, Rockingham area could see a burst of snow, but that's kind of the area that I'm focused on right now for our area. I'll widen it out just to show the coast as well. I'm still going 2 to 4, but trust me, there's somebody out here who's going to do over 4 inches. It's really, I'm not going to try to pinpoint it. So if I had to broad brush this, somebody in this vicinity right here could end up busting over 4 inches, but 2 to 4 seems to be the good bet. And then 1 to 2 in that big sprawling area there. So that's kind of what I'm going with. So let's look at some future looks at the short-term guidance to see what's happening. But this is the map that we're kind of going with right now. And again, don't let the amounts fool you. They're light. It's not a winter wonderland, but it's all about the roads. The roads could be super slick even with light amounts. All right, so let's dive into the rapid refresh guidance. Now, just a couple things to note here. This is all going to be snow on the north side. I do not know why the model keeps doing this, but some kind of weird coloring issue. But this is all going to be snow on the northwest side. So don't worry about the rain. There's no rain chance really for us at all. It's snow or nothing. Now, what's interesting is you see by 2 o'clock, we start getting some returns up here. That's evaporation. That's virga. As we get towards 5, though, this looks to be when it actually will reach the ground. But again, the problem is this is going to be this back edge. Where is it at? A lot of this is going to struggle to reach the ground. The darker shades of blue is where you definitely have heavier snow, and you kind of see where that's going from Columbia south. That's why I say Interstate 20 to the coast. Man, that's going to be the place for heavy snow. And then east of I-95. But you can see by 7 o'clock, that back edge right there. I mean, it's going to be a tight gradient from getting snow and no snow. But look at the amount of snow on the coast. I mean, that is really going to be, something to see on the coast. Beaches, all the way to the Outer Banks are going to see snow down to Charleston, Myrtle Beach. But this gives you an idea of the timing. So we'll loop this a couple of times. And again, it's going to be all about watching that back edge on where we're actually seeing precipitation reaching the ground. So, like I said, the radar is going to be not super useful today because a lot of it's not going to be reaching the ground. So, we're going to rely a lot on surface reports. So, if you have that MPing app on your phone, help us out. Let us know what's falling. If it's flurries, light, moderate, let us know because otherwise the radar is just not doing a great job because of all this aloft stuff and the local radar actually being currently down. So that's kind of the thinking right near that back edge. And again, so much dry air over us, the dew points. Let me back this up because I want to show you something. I'm going to show you the temperatures. The cold is a big deal, right? Super cold. Those are the air temperatures, teens and 20s. But look at the dew points. It's been a while since we've seen dew points below zero. That's really dry air. So when you see this moisture coming in through time, it's moving into this super dry air mass. So it's going to take a while for this stuff to reach the ground. That's why when you see these dew points in the single digits, you want them to start creeping up into the teens or 20s. And just to give you an idea, these are current dew points. Look at the dew points where it's snowing right now. They're in the 20s. So that's all reaching the ground down there along the Gulf Coast. So that should give you a good idea of like what it's going to take for snow to make it to the ground. Is we're going to need these dew points to creep up at least in the upper teens and near 20. That will saturate the lowest levels of the atmosphere and allow this to reach the ground. So snow, yes, on the way. Cold air, well, that's a sure thing. That's not going anywhere. We're probably not going to get above freezing today, especially with the cloud cover. And the other thing about evaporation of snow, or what we call sublimation, that will actually cool the air as well. So expect the temperature to stay below freezing all day today, tonight, and likely most of tomorrow. So the cold will be a big story, and we'll watch those roads. The roads, the roads, the roads. Can't emphasize enough that these light amounts, they're not enough to make snowmen go sledding, snowball fights, but man, these will cause some major issues on the roads along and south of 85. So in the Charlotte metro area, into South Carolina, out towards the Sandhills, this is our number one issue right here. This should be everything you're focused on. So after sunset tonight, roads will get slick. They've been brining and preparing already in our area. That's going to be a big issue overnight into tomorrow morning. Of course, we'll have coverage all day on WCNC. We'll be streaming and I'll post more updates as we go through the evening.